The video that I wanted to watch with you guys is this one here, which is called Top 8 AFK Players in Final Fantasy XIV. And yeah, the content creator is Spade. You should definitely leave him a visit. He does also provide other content, I think Guild Guide some weeks ago. And yeah, this is the video.
Hey pal, did you know Final Fantasy XIV is a multiplayer game? Those characters running around, they actually have real people controlling them. And at the heart of it, MMOs are social in nature, where your experience is directly impacted by those you meet. These interactions be as simple as a little wave when you join a dungeon to extensive player-ran events that have deep grass-rooted communities. However, there's another group of players who interact with you not by talking or participating in anything, but by leaving their computer to have their character idle in place. You see, in this game, there's no idle logout timer that will kick you after a certain amount of time. So you're free to never log out as long as you have an active subscription. You might notice a lot of players take advantage of this by parking their character in place and never leaving, most commonly in Limsa. A lot of these people fall into the background, as they're usually similar to most other characters with their basic e-girl glamour. However, some players are so dedicated to their craft of standing in a single place that they become a widely noticed feature within their server. In this video, I'm going to take you through some of the best examples of these players. Number 8. On our first stop, we are visiting Adamantoys. In this Aether data center, we find a Luigi, an Elezen who hangs outside the Maelstrom headquarters. He is dressed as Waluigi while doing the step dance emote. As you can tell, this is quite a popular AFK who is often visited by the locals of Adamantoys as a place to hang out. The spot that Luigi AFKs in is noticeable as it's far away from the Limsa Aetheryte that most people gather around, and you would likely not notice this player unless you visit the Maelstrom headquarters a lot. Certainly an AFK I recommend checking out, as there are usually some friendly people gathered about, and it's a surprisingly wholesome experience. Number 7.
Okay,
in our next stop, we travel to Cactar.
Just a quick thing here. I don't get it. Even if you have this on a very, very low graphics settings, for example, if you're not using any plugin, if you're just going all over or all down with your FPS, it's not as limiting as it would normally be. But we have 35 FPS here. It's 4K. Okay, that's also bad. I have settings quite high. And if you look at that, even this, maybe let's talk about 50% of that or 60% of that. That would even be 60 watts each second. It's pulling this out of the socket of your electricity. And I don't know. Would you even dare to stand there? You could even limit it further, of course, if you're really serious about standing idle and AFK in Limsa. But why would you do that? I don't get it. Why would you produce heat for your computer or your PlayStation, whatever you're playing this on, just to stand there the whole day? That doesn't get into my mind, really.
By the Limsa Aetheryte to check out Diaval. This guy is always in the same spot, wearing the butler's outfit with demon wings. The emote he does is a simulation, which you got if you bought a figurine of Omega from the Square Enix store a while back. Diaval is one dedicated AFKer. I've never seen this man move in a single time I visited Cactar's Limsa Aetheryte. And I'd feel like something would be missing here without him, like a empty spot in one's heart. Number 6. Since we're already in Cactar, might as well head over to Ul'dah. I know this ain't Limsa, but people AFK all over Eorzea. If you limit yourself to one place, you might miss out on some neat stuff.
Sexy
Here we have
movie,
Sonofallich, who's a dead Lalafell hanging outside the Aetheryte Plaza of Ul'dah. Some may wonder how you can die in the city, as there's no hostile mobs.
Blue mage
well, you
is
see,
the key, right?
Sonofallich is a blue mage who's able to equip multiple abilities that are fatal to oneself. Besides that, there's not much to say. This Lalafell is always laying here dead. So let's change data center to Crystal. Number 5. In the same spot as Sonofallich and Brynhild.
They pay like 7 subscriptions just to dance in a line? Why? Why are they doing that? I mean, he spent $200 on the figure just to have this. Okay, he has the figure as well, but I certainly sometimes expect people to actually just spend the money for the emote there. That's crazy.
There is William B., another Lalafell that you can see is always playing music. He is always here, but he's also sometimes joined by another known AFKer, who is an Elezen who dresses up as Link. The music he plays changes depending on recent events and happenings. For example, for the release of Persona 5 on PC, he played music from the Persona series. And it's always a pleasure to come here, as people in Crystal are a bit more talkative and social. I'll let you
It's a
decide
gang.
if that's
It's
a
a
good
gang.
thing or not. Number 4. Hopping over to Marlborough, we are met with a wall of Lalafells. Dear God, as you can tell, these demonic creatures
Oh,
are
God.
planning on taking over the entire world. This proves they're all part of one linked hive mind, communicating to each other through dots. Anyway, this is a site you will always be met with on Marlborough. It has no single
seen
one
this on Sheep as
AFK,
well.
but is a collective effort, as there are always Lalas doing the songbird emote on the bridge leading to the market boards. Who knows why, but I guess you have to be a Lalafell to figure it out.
Yeah,
After
maybe.
a quick stop in Crystal, we head on over to the Primal Data Center. Number 3. Here in Famorit, we see an entire organized group of similarly named characters.
Oh,
They all have
no.
Jade in their name, and they're all wearing blue carbuncle ears.
Oh,
This group has been
no.
here for quite some time and often rearranges the position of their accounts. I remember a few months back, somebody made a bunch of male Rogadin called the Weeaboo Police to stand in front of this group and block the view. Quite the sight to behold. But
The Weeaboo Police. Okay, one of them has the relic, Zodiac relic for the Bard here. Is that no? It's Heavensward.
the
Okay.
male Rogadin called the Weeaboo Police to stand in front of this group and block the view. Quite the sight to
Two of them,
behold.
actually.
But I wonder if all the
And-
accounts are owned by a single person.
Anima.
Because it would have taken ages to play through Endwalker like 13 times.
Oh my God.
Number 2.
Why would you do that? I don't get it. Look at how much gear they have, and they need to be at a certain high level. We have Omega set that's from shop. We have the PvP set that you might get on level 30 already, but at least one anima weapon. 2 anima weapons, the bows, the bard weapons there. It's crazy. The Jade group is a single player thing. Yeah, it feels like that. Why would you do that with your friends? Nobody would be so crazy, right? Because they have no IRL life. Yeah, that that might be the sad truth behind all this, but it's still, I can't find a clue why. Of course, you have videos like that talk about this, and maybe you just wanted to get into a video like that, but it's easier to produce content on Final Fantasy XIV with a crazy clickbait thumbnail. I know what I'm talking about. So maybe just do that instead of paying 14 subscriptions for the game. Don't do that.
Because it would have taken ages to play through Endwalker like 13 times. Number 2. Here on the Ultros server, we find Tank Program, a dead Rogadin. Unlike Sonophallage, Tank Program is only using the Faint emote. But what makes this special is the other AFKers that this man has attracted. Here to the side, we got Human Corpse, a fellow dead AFKer laying beside Tank Program, along with Princess Alice. I would like to think that this scene tells a story about Tank Program's heroic struggle and how he fought bravely to defend a princess. And now we see the end of the story where he lay successfully in triumph, but in a sad state. Number 1. This might be due to my
Nice.
bias as a Leviathan player, but I think Ismazia is the most prolific AFKer. He is, and has always been, on the Limsa Bridge doing the Mandeville dance while wearing a Speedo. I can find evidence that this player has been AFKing here for years, and I've never
For
seen him leave
years?
this spot, with exception to the Endwalker's release.
Yeah.
And if you do your research online, you can see references to this guy dating all the way back to 2016.
Wow.
I can only imagine how much this man has spent extra on his power bill to keep his character AFK.
Yes.
But I guess it's now paying off now that a random person is making a niche video about characters that stand still in a video game. In conclusion, this whole thing is quite odd, but I guess enjoyment can still be gained by visiting these players in-game.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it worth doing that? Even though you
Hey pal, did you
you get the attention. I get that, of course. But it's a lot of money, actually. If that is just one person spending so much money on having all these active subscriptions, or this guy literally standing there for, no, this guy here, standing there for 4 years in consecution without a break, except for the Endwalker release where you time out automatically. Wow. Why? It's crazy. Like I said, just checking here, my power bill would easily be double or 3 times what I actually already pay so far. People flex the strangest ways. Yeah, maybe that's the point here, where people buy up the whole housing districts. I think even that makes more sense. It's crazy. Yeah, I will link that in the description. Give me a second. He found a lot of cool people that are crazy. I don't know what the point is in all this AFKing, and even if not taking these extremes into account or into view, there are a couple of just ordinary AFKs in Limsa, and these are already crazy. Like, I would not even spend a whole day just AFKing there intentionally or just having forgotten to log out, because I know how much energy that would cost. And for example, if you have an OLED monitor or OLED TV or anything, this thing would be dead at that point. This would definitely be dead. Of course, even if you turn off your UI, you would still have some elements. These here, for example, they would burn in. You would have them constantly on your OLED screen. Like you said, maybe he works in the same moment, which is insane if you would just work for standing AFK in Limsa, but people are people, right? It's crazy. Good video by Spade. Check it out. I will link you the video here, of course, as well. And definitely a crazy topic that I still don't know why it exists and happens on a daily basis for so many people. Okay, so when I'm not having Final Fantasy in focus, as you can see here, everything drops a bit below the 100 watt mark, and I'm just getting 19 FPS. So I think you can optimize that you don't spend too much more than just having the idle process of your computer. That's definitely something, but why? Why would you play a game that has so much content and you're just standing somewhere? Even if you're very critical about the game and throw out some serious criticism that might actually make sense and be reasonable right now, everything is better than just standing somewhere. It doesn't make sense for me. Maybe they play on a cloud server or something that runs 24/7. Or it's like in the movie Speed. They kind of have to manage a certain power uplift for their computer. Otherwise, it explodes or anything like that. Yeah, maybe that's the whole thing. Yeah, I solved the puzzle, guys.